Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore how the journey of growing older is completely transforming. We're moving from the warm glow of the analog past to an absolutely incredible high-tech future. For most of human history, aging was a pretty predictable analog process. But today, we are standing on the edge of a massive demographic shift. By the year 2050, the global population of folks over 65 is expected to make up nearly a quarter of the world's population. Just think about that for a second. That sheer volume of people requires us to completely reimagine how we support, care for, and empower our aging population. Look at the stark contrast here between the traditional, kind of isolated way we used to view aging and the connected, highly advanced reality of today. Back in the day, getting older often meant your world shrank. The tools for connection were basically limited to keypad phones and maybe a radio, which unfortunately left seniors really vulnerable to severe social isolation. But today, we're hurtling toward a digital future fueled by interconnected smart sensors, advanced AI, and video calls. We aren't just handing seniors new gadgets, we are fundamentally upgrading the environment around them so it can actively participate in their care.
This brings us to a really profound question that's kind of going to be our guide for this whole explainer, especially as we transition out of nostalgia and into the reality of modern aging. What does it actually mean to grow old in an era where our homes are as smart as our doctors? How do we balance the inevitable physical decline of the human body with the relentless, lightning-fast advancement of artificial intelligence?
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Aging from Past to Present. So getting older naturally brings some physical hurdles, like decreased mobility, balance issues, and muscle loss. But here's something wild you might not know. Aging literally changes how we see color. As we age, the lens of the human eye actually thickens and turns a yellowish-brown color. It's literally like looking at the world through amber sunglasses. Because of this amber lens effect, distinguishing between cool colors, like pale blues, becomes incredibly difficult. They just wash out into a blurry gray. And that is exactly why modern interior design for seniors leans so heavily on bright, warm colors like yellow and red, alongside physical modifications like grab bars and non-slip floors. We're redesigning the physical world to meet the aging body exactly where it is.
Moving right along to Section 2, Loneliness and Life Satisfaction.
Look, you could build the absolute safest house in the world, but if the person inside it feels entirely alone, their quality of life is going to plummet. And this brilliantly illustrates how the absence of modern digital tools directly correlates with lower life satisfaction and higher isolation. A 2020 study of seniors living at home found a massive gap in happiness. Folks with low income, no social security, and zero social media presence, they suffered the highest rates of loneliness. On the flip side, those with digital literacy, meaning they know how to hop on a video call, browse social media, and stay connected with their families, they reported significantly higher life satisfaction. The digital divide isn't just about convenience anymore, guys. It is a critical factor in mental health. And that ties into a massively important concept in gerontology. Most elderly people want to stay right where they are, in their familiar, beloved homes. It's a concept known as aging in place. They want to keep their autonomy, their memories, their dignity. But here's the catch. They need the right support to do so safely. So how do we guarantee their safety when human caregivers simply can't be there 24/7?
Well, that takes us to Section 3, Safe and Smart Homes.
Enter long short-term memory networks, or LSTMs. Think of these as the silent, totally respectful guardians of an elderly person's home. Now, these aren't just simple motion detectors that beep when someone walks by. No way. These are highly advanced Internet of Things integrated AI models that actually learn the specific, nuanced daily routines of the person living in the house. What's really interesting here is how these sensors seamlessly learn a routine and alert loved ones to subtle changes, all without invading the senior's privacy. Picture a home equipped with infrared sensors and little contact switches on the cabinets. The LSTM network learns that, say, the resident usually makes breakfast at 8 a.m. and watches TV at 10 a.m. If suddenly the time it takes to make breakfast stretches out over 3 weeks, or if nighttime trips to the bathroom suddenly double, the AI notices. It flags these tiny deviations as early warning signs of cognitive decline or physical illness and shoots a quick notification to a caregiver before a catastrophic event, like a fall, even has a chance to happen.
Which brings us to Section 4, Diagnosis with Artificial Intelligence. Now we are taking all that predictive power out of the smart home and putting it directly into the clinic. Just look at the staggering number, 90%. AI and machine learning algorithms can now diagnose dementia with 90% accuracy. By crunching vast amounts of data, from brain imaging to behavioral patterns, AI can spot the microscopic markers of cognitive decline way before a human doctor might catch the outward symptoms.
And honestly, it gets even better. These systems can predict cardiovascular diseases with an astonishing 91% accuracy. When you combine this level of clinical precision with the continuous data feeding in from those smart home sensors we just talked about, you're essentially creating an invisible, highly effective safety net all around the aging individual. And the deep learning milestones just keep coming. These architectures are catching conditions like knee osteoarthritis early enough to actually slow their progression through physical therapy. Researchers are using models like DenseNet 21 combined with support vector machine algorithms. They literally apply a Gaussian noise filter to raw X-rays to clear up the image, which lets the AI categorize the wear and tear of a knee joint into 5 specific severity stages with 85% accuracy. By catching this deterioration at stage 1 or 2, physical therapists can intervene immediately, preserving the patient's mobility and preventing them from becoming bedridden. It's an absolute game changer. Finally, we step fully into the future with Section 5, Social Robots and the Future. Okay, so diagnosing a failing knee is obviously vital, but treating a lonely heart is just as important. And this is exactly where robotics meets human emotion. Companions like Paro and Lovat. Take Paro, for example. It's an advanced therapeutic robot shaped like an adorable baby harp seal. It responds to touch, it recognizes voices, and it makes these really soft, comforting sounds. I know, it might sound a little like science fiction, but the clinical results are undeniably real. What's really crucial to understand here is that these robots aren't meant to replace human love. Not at all. They're designed to alleviate emotional distress and reduce the heavy burden on human caregivers. In clinical trials, interacting with robots like Paro significantly reduced agitation and anxiety in patients with severe dementia. It provides a reliable, very safe form of structured emotional stimulation. And perhaps just as importantly, it gives exhausted human caregivers a much-needed moment to just breathe. And this builds such a beautiful synergy. Caregiver burnout is a massive crisis right now. Think about it. If a nurse or a family member is overwhelmed and exhausted from constantly checking vital signs, making sure the stove is off, and tracking medication, they have zero energy left to just sit down, hold their loved one's hand, and have a meaningful conversation. But by letting AI do the heavy lifting of monitoring, human caregivers are freed up to provide the true emotional connection that seniors crave. Technology doesn't replace the human touch. It automates the clinical chores so that the human touch can actually take center stage. As we look toward a future filled with both smart sensors and deep human empathy, I want to leave you with this final thought on the harmony between technology and human dignity. The technological evolution of aging isn't about surrendering our elders to machines. It's about leveraging 91% accurate diagnostic AI, LSTM smart home networks, and social robots to buy back the one thing we all want more of: quality time. So how will you balance the incredible precision of AI with the irreplaceable warmth of human connection in your own family's aging journey? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.